All right, what's up, guys? We're back with another talking one. Yu-Gi-Oh just released a new format. I say Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami. Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't release anything. Konami just released a new format, which I would say is a bit of a surprise. I don't know if anyone else was expecting something like this, especially after ban list, timer will change, then the Edison thing. I'm more surprised that when we get into it and we talk about more of it, it'll make more sense. But right now, when I saw Genesis come out, I was very much like, why isn't Rush Duel a thing, right? But we can talk about that in a second. So what is Genesis? It's a new format, right? Genesis rules are simple. No link monsters or pendulums are allowed. All other cards are allowed. The original field layout is used with no extra monster or pendulum. So it's like 2012, I think, or 2014. Dragon Ruler format had no pendulums. That was 2014, right? The standard forbidden and limited cards list is not used. Our ban list is gone, but they kind of keep that in. All those cards can be used to set link monsters and pendulums. Usually a copy of 3. Deck construction uses a point system. So some cards are assigned a point value. Most cards cost 0 points. The total point cost of cards in your main deck, extra deck, and side deck combined cannot exceed the point cap for that event. Standard point cap is 100, but events can be run with any point cap or even a 0 point cap. 0 point cap's nuts, which is just I think that would almost be just like pauper, right? So this is I think a lot like Warhammer, where your armies have points. Like you have a point system for your army, and then your units all cost points. You can't exceed the point, otherwise, the point system, otherwise your army's too strong, whatever. So this is a lot like this. This here reminds me a bit of like the whole zero point cap. And that's pretty much it. And then they've got the whole list on here. You can print and create deck list, read up info and strategy tips for Genesis and how to play. And then they've got the point list here. So originally I thought this was just the ban list, mostly but there's like ancient gear stuff on here, right? So, and I don't think that's on the ban list, but clearly some of the stuff that is a bit stronger, like size and process, some of the stuff that is banned, or should be banned, it would be like a one-of in a 0 point deck, if that makes sense, right? So it seems to work as, you got 100 points, your cards will cost points. The total has to be less than 100, equal to or less than, for each individual copy that you've got. It's not by name, it's by copy. So if you have 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, it costs you 15 points for all 3, and that would take you down to 85 points for the rest of your deck. That's pretty much how this looks like it's going to work. There's some stuff on here that's actually kind of crazy that I'm even seeing that has like points, but it seems to be like Omni Negates, the barrier statues are at 60, which I feel like should be higher. Barrier, the voice. Wait, is that? Oh, 33. I don't know why that's 33. But it's weird because it feels like some of these cards would only be a one-of anyway. But I think it's cool. The concept is cool. I like the idea behind it. Now we'll talk about a couple things. I don't see it being like a popular format like Edison was, but I do see it replacing Edison as a side format for side events at bigger tournaments. I do definitely see that kind of thing. One point for Daigusto Emerald. What's the point, right? I guess 1 point would be the point. But yeah, I don't see it being. It's a tad too late, I think, to include a format with all of the same card pool already. I think. Because you can just play the TCG, or you can play Master Duel, which has a slightly different card pool, but the card pool is the same, really, right? Because the ban list is just a bit different. People are talking about like FTK decks and stuff like that. Oh, Maluli's on here. Mafamina. Ooh. Yeah, so, and what that Windows at 60? I can't even play my own Draco Tower deck. That's fucking nuts. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. I like the idea behind it. I think everything should cost at least 1 point. I think is probably how that should go. But alright, how do I want to format the rest of this video before I keep going? Alright, tournament. I don't see this being supported for as long as people might want it to be supported. Mainly because, like I said, I think it's going to be more of a side event thing where people don't have to invest in new cards or old cards and can still, in most cases, play the same deck, right, into another event, right, bar Links and Pendulum, of course. I think they're trying for a better version of Edison, where you can't really be upset about rule changes such as bringing it to the current errata and the current rule structure, because it already is that, right? It's a way of replacing Edison with the whole pool and bringing down the speed that Links and Pendulums kind of just blew through the roof when they came out and what they've become. That's my first point. I think that it's not going to be supported for that long, because I don't think people are going to play it as diehard as it'll be a cool gimmick. It'll be good at big events, like I said. But I don't think it's going to, like, I think they were saying, I don't know if it's on here. I don't know if it's on here. But I think someone was saying that apparently they want to do, like, YCSs and stuff for this format. I don't think it'll work. I think locals will do it. I think there'll be places with locals, because there are people that do Edison locals. But I do not see it being this long-term... Like, actual... I don't think it taking away from the TCG at all. Like, at all. I don't think it'll do that at all. Second point, like I said, I was about to say, I think everything should at least have a point of value. Everything should be worth something. Because the issue that I see is that you can still make some pretty powerful decks in a 100 point cap. That if everything had a point, it would... Only these two. If everything had a point, it would really lower the power limit of a lot, and then you'd have to increase the point cap for the event, right? That's my second point. I think needs to make. I think everything needs to be worth a point. Otherwise, like, decks just go back to what they were. Because then you've got issues with the point system in general, where if you want a really powerful format, you can just say this is a 1,000 point event, and then you've got T element back. Pretty much got T element at full power because it fits in 1,000 points, because you got a whole bunch of zeros in there, right? What else? So I was thinking about this at work the whole time. It came up when I was at work and I was thinking about stuff. People are talking about it, and I had a whole bunch that I wanted to say on it because I think it's a really cool concept. I think it's a really, really cool concept. I like that they're doing something like this because it does kind of make a change. But the issue that we have is that we're looking at Konami as a company and how little they've really done to look after their own mainstay, because I would like this to not be the focus of what they do. What else? I was thinking about it earlier. It does feel like point 3. It does feel like a kind of like a bit of a cop-out in a way of trying to remarket reprints and old cards that aren't selling, or being able to sell old product without having to make anything new to try and bring everything back into the current day. Looking at this one, I still don't own a Maxi because they're too expensive, but I would never need to own a Maxi because it's not legal, and it never will be legal. But in this format, it will be legal. Point 4 would be one. It's still kind of in the same vein of whether or not the game will be supported, which will be like ban lists and stuff. Like, so they're going to augment the points in some manner. Like, I don't know what the time frame is. I heard someone say once a month. That's Master Duel level ban list. I don't, unless the Master Duel team's taking it over, which I doubt that they are. I would imagine that these point systems will change as our ban list changes. So I'm expecting either twice a year or once every 4 months shortly after the TCG ban list, so then they can change these points around to really kind of compensate for what changes. Because the issue that you have is that if I'm right and this doesn't get supported and it doesn't go for as long as they want to, they're going to have a hard time picking what to hit and increase in points. And the issue that you have is that there are certain cards like Xiaogun the Spiritualist, which if you can play a 0-point deck and play one of him and he ends up breaking a format, you now need to put him to 101, which then he's unplayable and he's banned anyway, and we're just back to TCG problems, right? Fifth point, I guess, for this, I like getting rid of links and pendulums. I do like that, because once again, it is just going to be a slower game state, slower gameplay. But I do think that you need to keep an eye on the point system, as in like the cap for the event, whatever event you're doing. Because if you do just go, screw it, make it 500, we're just back into regular TCG stuff. And it's like, why would I bother playing the TCG or play this if I can just play the TCG, because I'm already playing it, right? And I don't have to keep an eye on the points, because this is where it goes into point 6, right? Point 6, which is that it's going to be like, if you're just submitting a deck list to a big event, sick. The deck list does it all for you. But I know what's on the ban list and what's limited, unlimited, semi-limited, right? But if I'm playing against someone in a tournament, right, and this is, by the way, 505 cards with different point values, right? At what point do I see something and go, how many points is your deck, good sir? And then you're gonna have to get a judge over, right? Like, at the big events is fine, because they do it all for you, which, by the way, you can just cheat afterwards unless you get deck checked. But who would risk that? Many people have risked that. But at like local events and stuff like that, at what point do you go, hey, I need a deck check on this guy, because I think he's running a Guardian Chimera at 33 points and a give and take. But I need to remember what these points are at all times, and if they're changing the list every month, I am not remembering all these points. No way! No way! That's a huge issue, I think, because all of this seems really, really arbitrary. When I was looking at it at work, I'm like, oh, 100 points for this, 1 point for that, 50 points for this. Then 33, because someone called me and was like, oh, is it per card, or is it like for the whole deck? And I'm like, it has to be the whole deck with the way that it's placed, because you've got 0-point stuff, and if you've got 3, then it should always be 33. Like every card that's allowed 3 of should be at 33. If the point system is per card, therefore, if it's per card, you can have one delinquent duo in your deck, and one, is that Deep Sea Aya? No, deck lockdown. Deck lockdown, right? Because that's how he thought it worked. And I'm like, no, it has to be the whole deck as a whole, right? But now some of them just look really arbitrary, like 45 is fine, 20 is fine, but 33, like, that doesn't make any... Why? 7? Maybe that's why, because there's 7s. But why are there 7s? What's that? That's Dragonic Diagram and Veiler. So if you wanted... You can't even replace it of both. But I guess it... Yeah, moving to point 7 then, because as I'm talking, it does... I guess it does. It reminds me... It kind of makes me think of the team duels events, where they have the shared deck list, where you really have to kind of think about your deck building, because you can't just ram 3 of everything in your deck and call it a day and move on. There's actually going to be a bit of thought process into what you need to use whilst using some of those 0 points. Once again, still think everything should be worth 1, but you just up the count, right? Like, because like what? If you got a deck of 40 with a side deck at 55 and an extra deck at 70, you got 30 points left over to make out whatever big cards that you want. Alright, that's if everything costs 1. And that would be a really good low-powered format. It'd be really, really good. And then as you increment to 200, 300, 400, it just kind of gets more crazy from there. What else? See if I look at these rules and if anything jogs my memory from when I was talking before. Most cards got 0, forbidden limit, no links there. No, I think I think that's about it. I think that's pretty much all I have to really say on it. I think there's a few issues. I think kinks will... It seems like a bit of a cop-out for kind of killing Edison. Because I still think that rush duels should have been a thing. But once again, knowing the company and how speed duels went, they were never going to waste the money printing rush duel cards. Unless, of course, the rush duel cards could be played in the TCG format and it would actually warrant people buying it, because people would like full arts. But they're not going to do that. So it feels a bit like a cop-out to go, hey, we're doing something different. But realistically, I think it looks like a format that will just fall into a TCG or a Master Duel format. Realistically, like I think the idea is cool. The points will need to be reworked at some point, because I will tell you right now, at some point they will look at it and go, hey, these cards are too broken, and even at 1 they're too broken, and then all of a sudden this has to go to like 101 points, but then too many cards get too expensive because they're too good, and then you raise the minimum cap of your event to 200, and now all of a sudden Abyss Dweller is a problem again, which now means he's going to be 201 points, so then he's not in the 200 format, and then you're just going to have this weird like power creep thing where people just break stuff over and over again. I think that's why the ban list is just more superior than this kind of a system. But I will say that if they do it as a side event at big events, I will build for it. I will build a deck to go and play this Genesis, because it is a different way to play, and I do like Yu-Gi-Oh! But my main focus will be the TCG. And so on that note, nice, I say short, still 15 minutes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I've already spoken to half of yours, but let me know what you think. Let me know what you think they should have done, where they should have gone, what kind of changes you can see happening, pros, cons. Open up a bit of discussion about this, because this is actually kind of big, I think. It's not, I don't think it's big in the sense of it's a huge event, but I do think it's kind of big for Konami to kind of just put something like this out. But yeah, I'll see you later. Take it easy.